Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here, and this is the Doug.Show Live. We have a special guest today. It's Jesse Lakes. I think he is the most frequent guest on the show so far. I didn't do a count, but I'm pretty sure. And Jesse is the founder CEO over at Geniuslink. So I'm going to bring him on now, and hopefully this thing is going to work for us. Jesse, how's it going today?
It's going really well. How are you doing, Doug?
I'm doing awesome, and I think I'm gonna switch cameras another time to make sure I got this just right.
Boom.
And hopefully
Look at you,
people in the
pro.
chat. There's a lot of buttons to push, and sometimes I mess it up. So
That's the best part.
live, people are way more forgiving most of the time. So fingers
You've got a
crossed.
pretty
And
cool audience. Yeah.
thanks. So people in the chat, please say hello. Let us know that you can hear us and Jesse as well. And Jesse, for the people that don't know you, can you just give a quick intro about yourself and what you do over at Geniuslink?
Sure. So yeah, long time. Just added up the other day. I'm a 20-year Amazon Associates veteran. Affiliate's been a pretty important part of my life for the last 2 decades. First as an entrepreneur, then spent some time actually at Apple managing their affiliate program for iTunes, and really learned about this what we call geofragmentation problem. The whole idea that large multinational brands will spin up different storefronts for different parts of the world, and then to support those storefronts, they spin up affiliate programs that are specific to the storefronts, and it creates this global mess where if you have a global audience, you're trying to monetize it, it's really hard to do. So we built Geniuslink as a solution for that, first as iTunes and then as Amazon, and we've kind of opened it up. So I am co-founder, chief bottle washer, cheerleader, janitor. Yeah, we've got a great team, but I still get to pick up all the random jobs.
Very cool. And we're going to cover a lot of different topics today, starting with FTC guidelines and some of the disclaimers. We're also going to talk about some of the new associates programs that are out there. Plus, we have a bit of controversy, and I sent an email out to my list earlier today, and it has to do with the WordPress plugin world as it associates with the Amazon affiliate world and affiliates in general. And we're going to be talking about Lasso, one of the premium plugins out there. We're going to talk about Geniuslink as well. You're roped into this a bit, and AmaLinks Pro. And we're going to try and, I guess just play nice. We're just going to talk about some of the ideas. So I don't want people to get the idea that we're, trying to bash any companies or anything like that. So we're just chatting, and I'm probably going to be chatting with Andrew from Lasso before too long. And I'm friends with all the folks that we're talking about today, but I think it'll be an exciting topic to cover. So let's get into a few of the details here. And number one, we have the FTC guidelines. And not too long ago, Amazon associates sent out a notification to all the associates that we need to make sure that we're disclosing our relationship exactly. So Jesse, can you take us into a little bit of that notification email, and then what things should we look out for?
For sure. Yeah, I'm glad we're eating our vegetables before we get to our dessert here. It's important that we cover this. It's definitely not the most sexy or most exciting topic, but it is such an essential one. So yeah, the FTC guidelines, FTC regulates advertising, etc. But it also affiliate is part of that, and they've definitely been ramping up over the last couple of years. Amazon has been making more and more noise about how important it is to follow the FTC guidelines. But the gist is that you need to disclose your relationship in a clear and conspicuous way when you have affiliate links in play. And traditionally, the language on Amazon Associates in their operating agreement, which again, not sexy, but something very, very important to read, would dictate that you needed to include a line. It was a couple sentences originally, and they compressed it down. You need to make sure that line was used on your website. And there was some different rationale for that. And last year in October, they did a great job kind of saying, hey, this is what you need to do for Amazon, but as an affiliate, you also need to be doing this for the FTC. And now we're going to make sure that we're pushing you to do that as well. So last year came out and really pushed hard. We dug in deep at that time, put together a blog article, but the gist was you needed a link level disclosure, you needed an Amazon disclosure. And in the last year or so, that's actually Amazon's now strongly encouraging that you just kind of mash those together, which is honestly, it makes the messaging a bit simpler, right? If you can just use your short, simple, succinct Amazon disclosure before you use any affiliate links, you should be in the clear. And as easy as it and simple as that sounds, there are obviously lots of nuances. You can come up with lots of different creative ways, but at the end of the day, you need to be transparent with your readers, with your shoppers. That's best for staying in the clear, best for staying happy with Amazon, but it's also best for the consumers, for the shoppers, right? The FTC is there to help people buying. If they can't trust you, if Amazon can't trust you, you've got a world of problems in the world of affiliate. Authenticity, okay. I think that's going to be an important subject we'll hit upon throughout the day.
Yes, definitely. And I think a lot of people knew that they were supposed to say, hey, I'm an Amazon associate, but maybe they just left it at that, or maybe they put that in the footer, or maybe even in the sidebar. People will think, hey, I'm going to put it at the top of the sidebar, but I know that a lot of people are on mobile devices and that sidebar gets pushed to the bottom most of the time. So there's a very strong chance that people are not even going to see that if they read your whole article, which would be amazing if they did that. But any specific tips on exactly what to do, just so we're in the clear?
Yeah, I think as simple as possible is best, right? Use what Amazon has provided and put it at the top of your article. That's it doesn't get any simpler than that. And of course, if you want to dive into nuances, do so at your own peril. But at the end of the day, make sure Amazon's happy so that you can continue to earn from their affiliate program. And Amazon's going to be happy if you are fully following the FTC. So use their disclosure, put it at the top. You should be fine.
Cool. A quick example for people, if you want to look at my description for this video, I have a couple links and then I have an affiliate disclaimer. I'm saying it in just about as few words as I can, and then I move on to everything else. So if someone's scrolling down, they should see it. I can't make sure that you read everything, but at least I tried to put it where you would see it. I didn't put it at the bottom. A lot of people will put 50 links and then they'll put their disclaimer at the bottom, and that's arguable that someone's just not going to see it. So put it at the top, you'll be safe.
I think, Amazon uses the language, they shouldn't have to hunt for it. So one thing, while we're on the topic, again, using Amazon-specific language should keep you in the clear. But if you're using affiliate links outside of Amazon as well, just saying that you're an Amazon associate and earn from qualifying purposes is a little misleading in that you may have a Best Buy or a Walmart link as well. So you can make some slight modifications there. But one common mistake that we see all too often is people will start to say something around reader supported or community supported, or when you buy from the links, you support the site. And unfortunately, that's still gray area, but it's too dark of gray in this whole idea of incentivizing clicks. Amazon specifically, this is not an FTC issue, this is an Amazon issue, but you're not allowed to ask for clicks. You're not allowed to ask for purchases through Amazon. Amazon wants that to happen organically. So using the word supported in your FTC disclosure, your Amazon disclosure, is definitely not encouraged. Again, the language they have, it's simple, it's succinct, it's concise. Roll with that. If you are going to modify it, please don't use supported because you don't want to incentivize in any mean whatsoever.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. One of my favorite podcasts about brewing beer called Basic Brewing Radio, I used to use their affiliate link for years before I knew anything about affiliate marketing. I loved their podcast, and they would say, hey, support us. And then they got kicked out. I'm sure they were making pretty good money because this was back in 2007. So for many years, they were sending people over there. I'm sure they made hundreds of dollars just from me alone. But yeah, just kind of a bummer that Amazon made that rule, and then they kicked out people that maybe were doing that for years. I mean, they had a podcast too. It's not like they could go back to the other 400 episodes and change their verbiage. So they're just out.
Exactly. It's the same thing with YouTubers. We worked with a very prominent YouTuber that got in trouble. He would ask people to bookmark his Amazon link, which it seems like no harm, right? You're still sending people to Amazon, but at the end of the day, you have to think about it from Amazon's perspective, right? They're a business. They have fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. They need to make money. They're doing a great job at it, but they still need to continue to make money. So when they're wasting profit by rewarding people where a sale was already going to happen, that doesn't help build their business, right? Affiliate marketing is a marketing vehicle. It's supposed to bring in new business. It's supposed to help, increase sales volume, increase cart volume, et cetera. If that's not happening, then you're not helping them achieve the goal. Why should they share some of their hard-earned hard-earned revenue with you. So yeah, I'm not saying that I can get into Amazon's head by a long shot. I think we've proven time and time again that I cannot. But when you look at that perspective, it seems to make a bit more sense that just taking a sale that was already going to happen, slapping your affiliate tracking ID onto it, just so you can grab a percentage, doesn't actually help the whole ecosystem become better.
Right on. All right, I'm going to give a quick shout out to a couple of the people in the chat here. I'm going to try not to hang up on you, Jesse, here. And James is on. We have Mario and David. Everyone confirmed that they could hear me. Some of the crew from Geniuslink. And it looks like we have Zalkornan is on. So I will answer questions. Jesse's going to help me out. However, we're going to hold them mostly to the end since we have a few topics that we're definitely going to cover. One thing I need to do is thank the sponsor. So eZoic and their Site Speed Accelerator. So definitely check out their Site Speed Accelerator. It helps your site load faster. It helps you do some of the lazy loading and minifying the JavaScript and some of the other more complicated things. And highly recommend you check out their 7-day free trial. There's a link in the description. Thanks to eZoic. And coming back to Jesse and hopefully adding him back in here. Man, I'm getting good at this now.
You are getting good.
That
was smooth.
So the next thing we want to cover is, actually it's pretty quick, but Amazon Associates is always expanding. So there's some new countries out there. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What do we need to be aware of?
Yeah, Amazon's on a tear for global domination. They are adding new storefronts at a more regular pace. And for, I think, the third or fourth time in a row, they've actually launched an associates program with the launch of a new storefront. So Amazon Sweden just went live just a couple weeks ago. And again, it was awesome to see that not only was this new storefront with lots of different products, lots of different categories, but there was an associates program, and they also had their product advertising API live at the same time. So it's great to, as much as we are afraid that Amazon's going to close their affiliate program because of what we saw the commission cuts in April, which I do not believe, but there's definitely some murmurs there. It just kind of proves the exact opposite, that Amazon sees their affiliate program as a really important go-to-market strategy, or else they wouldn't put the time and effort into rolling out the affiliate program at the same time they roll out these storefronts, because it's obviously a massive undertaking. Why add one more thing to the mix to make it even more complicated? But they're doing it because they see value in it. So really excited to see Sweden online. This means that there is now Sweden and Netherlands are the two new programs in Europe. So that brings there's 7 now affiliate programs in Europe: UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, and now Sweden. We also saw Saudi Arabia come online earlier this year, which now makes 3 different programs in the Middle East. So we have Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. And then Singapore was added just about a year ago. And that is now Japan, Singapore, China, India. I guess Australia is its own continent, so it's not really part of Asia. But growing number of countries around the world. It's pretty amazing to see Amazon's continued push, a bigger and bigger footprint across the world. So now it's 19 different storefronts in 18 different affiliate programs. Turkey's affiliate program is private, but outside of that, every storefront has its own public affiliate program, which is pretty cool. It's also a very fragmented ecosystem. So if you have a global audience, you may need to use a tool to help monetize that.
And do you know of any of your customers using Geniuslink that really have a great footprint in, multiple different programs? Because like you said, it's a fragmented audience. Ranking or getting traffic in certain areas may be tougher than others. So yeah, just curious if any people out there doing it really well.
We're at this really fortunate spot now where we have all these different clients coming in from all over the world that we've never had any sort of connection with. And it's really fun to start hearing their stories. So the Nordics are notorious for heavy metal. So we're finding that these labels that are deep into heavy metal really appreciate having Amazon Sweden be online. We're also finding that Souk, which is Souk.com, which is the store that Amazon bought and is doing all these different Middle Eastern storefronts based off of that. We're finding more and more people from the Middle East that were leveraging affiliate marketing before now see that Amazon is a prominent piece and are starting to take advantage of that. On top of that, though, most of our clients that have kind of hit a certain threshold of size are seeing that it's worth their time to sign up for these other Amazon storefronts, where it only takes, it's the same questions, the same sign up flow. So for an extra 15, 20 minutes, they can now be signed up with Sweden, and maybe it was only 0.5% of their traffic, but that still results in 1,000 clicks a month. So maybe it's 5, 10, $100 they can earn. Yeah, probably not 100, but that adds up. And when you can kind of, compile that plus, Saudi Arabia was another, 5, 10, $20 in Singapore. Those all come together and can really add up to a decent paycheck every month from monetizing that mid, body, and long tail.
Very cool. And as far as the commission rates, are they pretty much in line with the US, or with some of the newer programs, are those higher to encourage affiliates to jump on board?
Exactly. In fact, we saw the Sweden, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it was pretty significant increase. The product, Amazon Sweden uses the category-based affiliate program as well, not like the other programs in Europe, which are pay based on if it's a direct link versus a non-direct link, et cetera. But we saw from Amazon Sweden, most of the categories were significantly higher payout versus Amazon.com as a benchmark. Our blog has that broken down. Actually, I got pretty nerdy with it, jumped into a spreadsheet and broke it all down. Surprise, surprise. So it's all in that blog. My apologies for not having it off the top of my head.
That's all right. I didn't even know we were going to talk that level. So yeah, definitely check out the blog over at Geniuslink as well. They go in depth, and sometimes Jesse goes down a rabbit hole and creates spreadsheets and organizes everything for us so we don't have to. So, okay, one other thing I want to throw out, another housekeeping type item, is my contest. There's a link in the description. There are content marketing tools, and Geniuslink is one of them. So you'll get a year access. I'm not sure the level, Jesse. We never even agreed on it, so we could catch up later, but it'll be sufficient.
For your audience, yeah. Free clicks for a year. Throw what you can at us.
Okay, that's awesome.
Bring it on.
That's amazing. And we also have Market Muse on board. We have AmaLinks Pro, KW Finder, and Keyword Keg. I think that's all of them.
You got that's a great set of prizes. Those are some awesome companies.
Thanks. You know what? I was like, hey, I'm going to try this, and I just want to keep it small, because I've seen some contests that have 40 different prizes, and they're really huge. And this is the first one that I'm trying. And then I realized that it's a pretty good prize set, because some of the other contests I see out there are just like 4 books or something like that. So this is pretty good. And I should have maybe started smaller, but these are awesome. And it's going on for a few days. It's free to enter. You can get more and more entries by taking different actions, like subscribing to the YouTube channel or watching a video. And I'm going to be playing around with this in the future. So I'm going to harass other software companies to give me a license for giveaways. So I'm going to try to crack the nut. I have not really done it with contests. Just curious, Jesse, have you done any contests?
With Kit, we've done some contests, and that's been a really interesting, really exciting world. Typically on the Geniuslink side, we buddy up with someone that does these. We are better at sitting shotgun than driving on these. Not saying that that's not going to change in the future, but yeah, it's really, we love to support the community, so it's fun to kind of help out however we can. So yeah, we do probably some sort of contest, or a participant in some sort of contest at least once a quarter, sometimes more often. But yeah, if someone has some good ideas, please hit me up. Happy to help support your community.
Very cool. Yeah, and I was going to say, right now it's like we're both riding shotgun, just seeing where this car is going to go. But I hope to be someone that could orchestrate contests more effectively and kind of direct. I mean, my idea is actually to maybe do some just on the YouTube side for like subscribers and to get views, and maybe some for the email list side.
Be careful with that. So one of the reasons our kit contests have been so successful is because YouTube, don't quote me here, I hate that we're on live here. I should double check my sources before I spout anything out. But you can't incentivize subscribes or whatever with a contest, as far as I understand, with YouTube. There's some nuances there. So when you do a contest with YouTube, you can't ask for certain things because that violates YouTube's guidelines, I believe. Yeah, I'm happy to follow up later with you. There's some nuance there, which is why we've been able to work with some awesome creators to do the actual contest on Kit, because you can advertise it, you can push it, but then Kit is we don't have those same requirements, and we can kind of help push that contest and make it a more rounded event for the community.
Got it. Interesting, because I'm using King Sumo, and then I'll pull it back on track here because I'm going on a tangent, but I'm using King Sumo, which is
Okay.
Noah
They should know.
Kagan's,
Yeah.
and it's integrated. And I'm like, oh man, that would really be a fuck up if they were like selling the tool and then telling us to do it this way, and then it's like completely against the terms of service. Which, I mean, terms change all the time, and ultimately I'm responsible for what I'm doing. But I'm assuming they mostly did it right, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, you're probably right. Again, I was not responsible there. I was on the email thread going back and forth between the lawyers. So yeah, I have a bad tendency of tuning some of that legalese out.
Yeah. No, I mean, the contest, some people were warning me they were like, hey, you don't want to work with this country because the rules are very strict there. And I'm like, I'm just trying to give stuff away, like
Exactly. It should be easy.
yeah. But anyway, pulling it back on track, let's get into at least one question here. And I'm going to put my little niche website builder. So shout out to niche website builders. They have a lot of specials going on this week. You can save. I have 10% listed here, but they sponsored this Q&A segment. We're going to hit one or two questions here right now. And because this is the Black Friday week, apparently deals are coming out starting last week or so. So I assume next year it's just going to be like November all the way through December. There's going to be some mad deals, but niche website builders sponsor this segment. So Zalkornan asks, in the beginning, can we use images from product brands' websites or any places or any other places, as we're not allowed to use images from Amazon? I didn't apply to Amazon yet. All right, Jesse, you want to take that?
Yeah. So I forget what the term is they use inside the operating agreement, but Amazon, you're absolutely right that you cannot pull images from Amazon's website. They make it very clear that you need to pull the image URL via their API. And tools like Matthew Allen's AmaLinks Pro do an amazing job at exactly that, following the terms and conditions to the T to pull the rich content and put it in your site. So if Amazon is going to be an important part of your strategy, definitely recommend you check out WordPress plugins. AmaLinks Pro, again, being a great one. He's got a few competitors as well. But they are, again, it's important for them to play by the rules to grab the assets. As far as grabbing images from other websites, I can't answer that definitively. It's going to depend on the terms and conditions of each of those websites and each of the different affiliate programs. My gut is that's probably in a more dangerous territory. If anything, for grabbing art, you probably want to go to Google Images and make sure that it's a royalty free. That it's the CC was that Classic Commons, Creative Commons. Thank you. Gives you permission to do exactly that. It's a real bummer to grab an image, and then this is not exactly the question, but it's a real bummer to grab an image, think you're in the clear, and then get a note from, say, Getty Images a year later asking for $600 to clear the rights because you were in violation. And that's happened to us multiple times. You'd think we'd learn, but it's you grab them from these places and you think they're clear. After the first time, we specifically started using tools that were clear, and we still got in trouble again. So we now actually create our own art because it's just easier than having to deal with some of these other sites. But anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole now. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yep, you got it. And I'll pepper in just a couple things. I wouldn't worry too much about trying to get product images specifically. You probably will run into trouble if you go to the company website and use their images. They may have specific license agreements with the photographer, the stock image company, or whatever. They own the rights. So even if you're promoting their product, it doesn't mean you can just use it because copyright law gets complicated really fast. So I would not use images that you're not 100% sure that you could use. There's a ton of free resources online. You can get images, you can get video. There's so much out there, but you may not be able to get the exact product image. So my advice is figure out images that fit with the topic and or the audience in general. So if it's, say, something associated with like a parenting website, you could have, pictures of families, or we're going down a weird road, kids in playgrounds. Maybe, make sure you're getting stock images and the proper ones, but basically make sure you have the right to use those images. So, and we will be answering more questions coming up, and we're going to shift here. I'll say what's up to Bill and Adrian, what's going on. Really do appreciate it. And I'm going to try and share my screen here. Fingers crossed.
Just push all the buttons at once.
I know. There's so many buttons, and there's keyboard shortcuts, which often get me in trouble. So you accidentally press them. All right. So I believe right now people can see the screen and they can see us. So what we're looking at now, if I can actually get to that screen, it's always fun to hear someone talk through trying to navigate. All right. I think this will work. All right, we're getting there. So what we're viewing here is, all right, we got it. It's
awesome.
Live, everyone. Okay, so we have AmaLinks Pro, and this is Matt Allen's tool. And he blogs also at Dumb Passive Income as well. And basically, Matt called out Lasso, and I am friends with some of the people that were and are associated with Lasso. Matt Giovanisi, beer drinking friend of mine and affiliate marketing peer. He was one of the people that worked there up until October or so. And basically, Matt Allen kind of had an issue with the comparison chart. So you can check out this post. There's a link in the show notes here. And more or less, if I'll just quickly summarize here, he says Lasso published fake comparison posts and maybe it wasn't super accurate. So this is what Matt said. I'm just relaying the information. You can check out all the nuance here that Matt goes into. Some of it is nitpicky and some of it is, partially, one tool defending their own specifics compared to another. You see this often, like if you look at a hosting company, or I was in the market for an LMS, a learning management system, and I looked at Kajabi, Teachable, like 5 others, and they compare each other in charts, much like Lasso has done here. So I'll just show you quickly the AmaLinks Pro alternative and Lasso. So they have a chart here and it outlines some of the differences, which, I mean, this information in the chart is accurate. One of the issues that Matt Allen had from AmaLinks Pro was everything after the chart was pretty much the same information. So they're sort of like comparing all these different tools to Lasso in kind of a simplistic way. This is basically what you would see on a feature or sales page. And then they have a promo video and no major issues. Again, things are accurate here, but it's not the full picture. Now, when I started looking at this, I saw that there are many different comparisons to all of Lasso's competitors, or at least people that are in the space, not even necessarily competitors. And when you step back, you think, hey, that's a really good SEO strategy. That's a good SEO play, which it is. I'm sure they're getting plenty of traffic through this. But they also compared to Geniuslink, which is a little bit off because Geniuslink really does something different than what Lasso is doing. So at this point, I've been talking for a while. So I'm just going to, Jesse, do you have any impressions of this?
So we are live. I will be, again, there's no point bashing your competitors. Your competitors can become your best friends. They can be the people you acquire. You can acquire their properties. It changes on a dime. So from our 10 years in the business, it's really important for us that we maintain a good relationship with our peers, with our competitors. There's a lot to be learned. That, it doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. A rising tide lifts all ships. So yes, there is some short-term benefit to ranking for a competitor or a peer's keywords. But we think that should be authentic. We believe a lot in authenticity. We think, Pat Flynn, says this more succinctly than I ever can, but, in all of affiliate marketing, you need to be proud of what you do, and you need to be able to tell your grandma about it with a straight face. And it saddens me and it frustrates me to see smart people in our space not being smart about what they're doing, just taking these low stabs, these short-term approaches to SEO, to building a business, and it's just, I don't think it's cool. It's something we purposely have chosen not to do. We do mention our peers. It's often, AmaLinks Pro. Again, it's not, we're not competitors. We do some similar things, but we talk about how we can work together. Easy Azon, AWP. All these tools are mentioned in our blog, but it's about the things we can do together, and it's accurate. I think that's honestly the biggest thing is just, the accuracy, the authenticity. When you start to go down this route of lying to your audience, that can create a lot of problems relatively quickly. It can shoot you in the foot relatively quickly. Case in point here, we're talking about Lasso not as the stuff that they do well, but as, unfortunately, the negative that they did in their SEO. So yeah, huge respect to Matt. He mentions it in his blog really early on. Matt Allen, I should say, early on, that he didn't want to write this post, but I thought, thank you for doing it. Thank you for staying up, because it's not cool. And yeah, I'll take a breath there and let you come back in.
Yeah, it's really tough because, like I mentioned earlier, I know all the people involved here, and there are other tools where I know those product owners too. And, inherently, it's just SEO. There was nothing like really wrong that was done here. There's nothing, depending on how strict you are, someone may say, hey, that's unethical, or really, hey, it's just SEO. This is a marketing channel and we're writing content. You can write your own content, blah, blah, blah. But like you said, sometimes it's a good idea to work with your competitors. And I even have some direct competitors, which, I think they're much bigger than me, so I don't even think I don't even view them as my competitor, but Authority Hacker. Those guys are brilliant. Do you know those guys? You must.
Gail and Mark.
Yeah, so they're great, awesome podcast, fantastic content, and we don't necessarily collaborate or work together in any fashion, but we don't go out of our way to bug each other or try and steal traffic or anything like that, at least to my knowledge. So no, those guys are great, and I often will recommend them if people have certain questions, because it makes sense. And there's, like you said, there's no way we know what the future is going to bring. It could be a future acquisition, it could be a partnership. Opportunities pop up where
Absolutely.
you realize, hey, we have an overlap of skills and audience. Why don't we work on this thing together? And I think you even had a similar story with that, right?
Yeah, just where, you start off early building relationships. We have this, exactly. The story is many years ago, we did an infographic about the Amazon ecosystem. And there was just a handful of link management tools at that point. Booklinker was one of those. It was a service that was run by this British chap. And it was working relatively well. And then we saw all of a sudden that it didn't work. But because I'd exchanged emails about working together on this infographic, I had his email, asked him what was up, and he said, I'm over it. So we were able to buy the assets from him relatively cheap, and we were able to breathe new life into it. And it's become a fairly major tool for the indie author community. And that was, that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't reached out and had a relationship. Even though we directly competed for authors, it worked out incredibly well for him and for us and for the community. So again, a rising tide lifts all ships. We're not in a zero-sum game. There's 1 million plus Amazon affiliates out there. Let's play. Let's not play dirty. Let's play, authenticity, sure. Ethics. At the end of the day, you got to live with yourself.
Right on. And we don't have to do this, but do you want to look at specifically what is in the Lasso Geniuslink comparison, and just so you could correct, like, because I'm probably going to have Andrew on to go through and give his side of the story as well here. So only if you want to, but we could totally skip it if you don't want to.
Yeah, high level, the pricing's a bit of a misnomer, right? We start at $5, they start at 19. Yes, the price goes up. But again, they kind of, steered that information to look best for them. We offer free trial. We do have live support. They got that right. Link displays. We have choice pages where we display links. Affiliate opportunities. We have this whole concept of suggestions. We drop in an Amazon link. We're going to find 80 plus other retailers that offer the exact same product. Affiliate program recommendation. Absolutely. Same thing where if you're getting clicks from certain different retailers, we'll tell you at the top of the dashboard what programs you should sign up for. Plug and import and revert. Absolutely. That's all there.
Sure.
Link groups. Yeah, we've been organizing into groups before Lasso even existed. So again, these are all fundamental things that we absolutely do. And it's I don't know who it was behind this, but Matt knows better. But so be it. Real live human customer support. Number one reason people switch from Geniuslink to Lasso. I've never actually heard of a client leaving us because of this, but maybe it has. But customer support is something that I take incredibly seriously. That was a ticket to my success when I was at Apple. If you look at our testimonials page, you'll see that 3 out of every 4 has some mention of our customer support. We have an amazing team, multiple people, English speaking in Seattle that manage that. Modern intuitive interface, right? The mention that it doesn't even feel like you're in WordPress. Our WordPress plugin is one small aspect of Geniuslink. Most of it exists inside the dashboard. We also have Chrome extensions. We have an API. There's a lot more than this WordPress plugin. And yes, the WordPress plugin does feel like a WordPress plugin because it is a WordPress plugin. But in general, Geniuslink is not a WordPress specific device. Sleek affiliate link displays. Again, our choice pages. You may not think it's sleek and whatever, but we see that it converts 2.5 times better than a direct Amazon link. So someone thinks it's working well. So I think I hit every single thing on that page and have an issue with it. Sorry, I'm now inventing. I'll slow myself down.
That's all right. No, I mean, it's interesting. Number one, that I have apparently a platform where people want to share their opinions, and I think, the issue with the reuse of a lot of the content on multiple different comparisons just inherently makes it inaccurate, and then
it's lazy.
Unfortunately, honestly, I had on like my content list. I'm so busy, or at least I don't do as much work as I sometimes intend. So I'm not too busy, to be honest with you. But I have a long list, and one of them was to compare, different tools, even if there's only a minor bit of overlap where, people could use a solution for multiple things, right? People can use PrettyLink for this sort of link management, but you can also do other stuff. I mean, I use PrettyLink every day for some, just short link creation on my own site, and it's easy for me to manage. It's low overhead. It's very simple, and
it's a great tool.
That's what I use. And if you try to compare PrettyLink to Lasso, you'd run into these same issues. But I talked myself into a circle, but you run into an issue because they're reusing the same content instead of actually. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I have a list of essentially comparing different tools, and you could go in depth and probably write. I would probably do it in a concise way where it's roughly 1,000 words comparing different tools and saying, hey, here's like the bottom line. This tool is best for this kind of user or this kind of user, and these other solutions are fine, but it's probably better. Like if you're a YouTube creator, maybe Geniuslink is going to be the best solution, because guess what? You can't use a fucking WordPress plugin on YouTube, right? So you got to do it a different way. So maybe Geniuslink is the only solution. So that would be a whole section here, right? So if you're a YouTube creator, like, you can't use Lasso. However, Geniuslink will basically get you into 18 different associate programs, blah, blah, blah. It's going to work great. So I think.
So just go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it.
I was just going to say, comparison pages are important. I hope I didn't come off saying that you should never do a comparison page. I completely, that is really important. There are different tools that do different things, some better than others. But at the end of the day, you have to be adding value into the ecosystem, right? Just like as affiliates, we write, comparison between one webcam and the other, or one microphone and the other, or one pair of running shoes versus the other. That is really valuable content. That's great, but you're adding value into the ecosystem. You're not being lazy. You're not lying. You're not, missing a lot of the most important facts. If you can't help the ecosystem, if you can't, provide value to your end readers, then what's the point of doing it?
Yeah. And content idea for anyone out there, I'm pretty sure if you created a video and or a blog post on any or each of the comparisons, any tools that you want to do, you could do keyword research tools, you can do these type of plugins, you could say SEO plugins, so Rank Math versus Yoast. Like if you do a bunch of these, I guarantee you'll be able to get traffic pretty quick. People buy and pay for these tools too. So it's a great affiliate model, and there's a ton of combinations, right? And you can see this is very light content over here on the Lasso comparisons. So, all right.
And they show up as 15th when you search for Geniuslink. So it works even though it's relatively light. So anyway,
yeah, I may have to write these in my copious free time over the holidays here. So, and today it is the day before Thanksgiving. So when people watch or listen to this in the future, you won't know that. But do you have big plans tomorrow?
I'm going to take a long run so that I don't feel guilty about having a third slice of apple pie. That's my big plans.
Are you a big runner?
Yeah. Last year I ran 4 ultra marathons. This year I only ran 1 before the COVID lockdown happened. But yeah, I like to run.
How about
not very fast?
I didn't know that. So what ultra or what distance of ultras do you do?
So I'm still working up for my 50 miler. They've all been 50K and some change. But yeah, there was one actually in Bozeman, our classic connection there. The old Gabe was the crying achievement last year, which was nice. That was a pretty brutal one. I think there was well over a mile of vertical, and that was 34 miles or whatever it was.
And you're not training at elevation, I take it. So
it's hard when Seattle, right? So I live in West Seattle. I'm on a bit of a hill, but most of my training runs are at sea level and relatively flat. So actually the first ultra of the year that I usually sign up for, early February, it's usually Super Bowl weekend. It's the Lazy Bastard, and it is 0 hills at sea level, and it's just kind of, that's your baseline, right? If you can complete that one, then you kind of work up from there. But old Gabe was the complete opposite.
Man, it's funny. One of my buddies back in Atlanta, he and I used to do half marathons together. Okay. And he texted me, and he just did his first 50K last weekend.
Nice.
So
awesome.
I was like, and I'm going through like Achilles issues and a muscle tear from like years ago, and I'm having trouble healing and like I'm trying to strengthen everything else to make sure my Achilles isn't inflamed. But I know some people that just run through it, but you're at risk for a rupture a little bit more. Obviously, if it hurts while you're running, it's not the greatest idea. So it's tough.
Be careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not to go off another tangent here, but if you like to run, have you taken on the whole Peloton world?
No.
Oh, that's another very addictive, expensive, but very, very cool. Athleticizing world.
Yeah. Oh man, no, and I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm a little older, and I would love to do maybe one of the shorter ultras just to test it out. I like long-term planning and goals and just like sticking to it and all that. And I would love to do it, but I don't know if my body will hang on. And the thing is, it's managing injury. A lot of the training is managing injury. And I haven't even done like the long distances like you're talking about. So I imagine it's so much more. But I mean, you earned your turkey. I think you're going to be fine. How far are you going to run tomorrow?
If I can get 20, I'll feel pretty good. Somewhere between 15 and 20. But take a quick step back, right? Running is like entrepreneurship, where it's just one foot in front of the other. But also, just like entrepreneurship, the accountability group does wonders. So I'm fortunate enough that consciously or subconsciously I've hired a number of runners on the team. So we have a pretty cool group and in the Geniuslink team that also runs. So we've got a Slack channel specifically for fitness, even though we just talk about running. So as a solopreneur at times, it might be a little bit more challenging finding your accountability group, but really encourage that. But you're absolutely right. Don't make those injuries worse.
That's a good way to tie it all together. So, all right, let's hit the other topic. And I didn't even know this went down, but you gave me a heads up. There was some downtime. So can you break it down for us here?
Yeah, we messed up. We spend a lot of time. We have a lot of pride in our infrastructure, and we had a series of cascading database failures a couple Thursdays ago. I think it was the 12th. And Geniuslink was down for nearly 90 minutes, and that sucks. So for those of you that are Geniuslink users in the audience, my sincere apologies. It's not something we're proud of. We do again have an awesome engineering team. We were able to get things figured out and got things back online, but it was a bummer. We wrote a blog that kind of goes in depth on it. You're welcome to kind of take a look at the postmortem. I think what's most important though is we've learned some lessons. We thought we had things built in a pretty robust and very solid way, and we learned where the holes were, and we fixed those holes. Last week was crazy with the whole team focused on infrastructure, getting things in a better spot so that would never happen again. Especially in our position where it's a link management tool, that link is the last mile between your recommendation and earning some commissions. So our clients put a lot of trust in us, and we let them down. And I hate it when it happens. It's happened in the past. It may happen in the future. Hopefully not, because of the lessons we've learned. But it's a bummer. That all being said, and not to give myself a get out of jail card, but it's ironic seeing that it's not just us as well. Let me pull this up here. For those of you that haven't noticed, AWS is having serious issues today. It looks like they're going on nearly 6 hours of downtime for some of their services, which is a bummer, right? You pay money for these services to be reliant. You base your living as an online entrepreneur on these services, and when they break, it's a bummer. Apologies, and keep an eye on us. Keep us honest. We try really hard to do the exact same thing when there's issues. Communication is front and foremost. Again, we need to keep that trust as much as possible.
Definitely, and I think the reality is there's always outages somewhere, sometime. It's usually just a matter of time before some tool has trouble. Even, fantastic hosting companies will have some outages or trouble. Sometimes it's a, physical, failure. Someone tripped over the cord to
hard drive
the server
goes
rack.
away. Yeah.
So
the squirrel eats the line. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing you could do about it. And a lot of times, we'll do. My background's in software, so I kind of understand what I'm talking about. But, we would plan on different fail safes and different things that you could do. Like, hey, all this stuff exploded. Now what happens? And this was like building software for telecom companies. So it was relatively important, not life critical, but pretty important for these companies.
Yeah.
And sometimes you plan the best you can, but you don't know how it's going to react. Maybe you didn't account for the distance between the server farms, right, and the bandwidth. So maybe it takes a lot longer to actually replace that data than you thought. So, and you said that you guys fixed it, so it won't happen again. Do you have any details on that, or is it beyond the scope of what we're talking about at all?
As the non-engineer of the co-founders, the gist was we have regional databases. We're based in Seattle. We have we own a hardware rack in one of the data centers here, and we have a lot of our own local hardware here. But we also know that serving clicks fast, it's important to have regional deployment. So we have servers in California, in New York and Newark, in UK, in France, in Singapore, etc. And those are all based off of cloud development. But each of those different regions has their own database as well, so that they can read from the database as quickly as possible, again, so we can resolve those links as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, about half those regional databases failed to update, so essentially became worthless. So then started to read from the other ones and kind of took everything down. It was this kind of cascading series of events. At the same time, we were also seeing a spike in traffic, and we also use VigLink, Sovereign Commerce now as they're called. We use their API to know how and when to affiliate certain links for our clients. That API started to throw out issues because one of its SSL certs had expired. So it was kind of this perfect storm, this perfect mess of different things happening all at the same time. We thought we had the issue fixed within the first 20 minutes, but we couldn't redeploy, so forth and so on. So long story short, major, again, infrastructure update where things are much faster. We can deploy much quicker. We have a whole lot more alerting, monitoring. I thought we had a pretty robust system there, but we just took it up another major level. So yeah, this specific problem should never happen again. Hopefully any related problems should never happen again. But yeah, the unknown unknowns are always the challenge. And as a project manager, you try hard to rack your brain and learn what you can to plan for those. But unfortunately, things still come through because Joe was drinking his coffee and tripped on that line in the server farm.
Right. And one other thing I'll add, I had a hosting company sort of fail me, and it was not really any excuse. I think they accidentally deleted stuff, like a technician accidentally formatted the drive, the equivalent of formatting everything, and killed all the websites. They had it backed up, but it took a long time for them to restore it. And the reason why I'm bringing up this point is I was tempted to switch companies, because hosting is I can go anywhere and get my site up in no time. However, it would take maybe 24, 48 hours for the DNS to propagate across the world. So it wouldn't be instantaneous, but it would be a few days. And I realized, oh, you know what? This hosting company that just screwed up really big, they're never going to make that mistake again. And they're probably going to fix a couple other issues that they may have had and didn't know about. And it's kind of right after there's some sort of an incident, a lot of times people are extra vigilant on watching out for that incident again. So it's a little less likely to occur right after that. I could be making that up. I didn't really do a study on that, but basically I was like, I'm going to stick with this hosting company because that problem is never going to happen again. They just learned their lesson for the rest of the life of the company. Exactly.
I think you can define kind of a good company from a bad company in kind of two different things. One, do they learn from their mistakes? And just like you're saying, a good company is never going to make that mistake again because they learn the hard way, unfortunately, but they learn from the mistake. I think the second is just the communication. It's unfortunate when a company just ghosts you, when they just disappear, something goes wrong and you can't find them no matter what channel, you can't get any help, etc. So again, not trying to write myself a free pass, but if they're learning from it and if they're communicating, I think I would trust them more. And based off of that, that's exactly what we did as well. So hopefully our clients continue to trust us because that means the world to us. That's one of the most important things. We don't take it for granted.
Very cool. Well, any cool other things coming up for, I guess, 2021 for Geniuslink or, any of the projects you're working on?
2021 is going to be, it's going to be pretty sweet. Right now we're spending a lot of time so let me take a step back. Amazon cut their commissions in April. We, at the same time, are working on what we call the suggestions and choice pages, being able to take that Amazon link and find other retailers that are selling the same thing. We've seen really great success from that. We've done a bunch of testing throughout the spring and early summer, saw that a direct to Amazon link versus a choice page, multiple different retailers selling the same product, that choice page actually converted about 2.2 to 2.5 times better. EPC was 2.5 times better. So now we're taking that same idea and applying it to Kit. So Kit, again, is that community of creators sharing the products they love. And just to kind of, again, test to make sure that multi-retailer really works well on a website, not just for YouTube or social media, et cetera. So based off of those results and refining that, we're looking forward to really kind of upping the level of our WordPress plugin and our offering to help people. Again, Amazon's a major player. You're not ever really going to get away from Amazon. Again, they've got global dominance kind of, written into their DNA. But we're finding that, again, different options help you convert better on Amazon, help you earn more, help you monetize a larger chunk of your audience. So we're really excited to kind of take that one step further, do more than just the choice pages with this whole multi-retailer piece. So that's really kind of the focus of at least the first part of 2021. And there's some other aspects that go along with it. We'll be spending some time back on WordPress, being able to create these links quickly. We think real-time pricing availability information is important. So we're starting to explore more of how we can incorporate that. And we've got a job rec open for another engineer. So hopefully we can move faster. All in all, hopefully 2021 is the antithesis of 2020. And it's all amazing things instead of all catastrophic things.
And you're doing more stuff on YouTube as well. I caught one of your Q&A sessions, so I did link up to your YouTube channel. You guys are doing more
Thank you.
there. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, it's just I love to write, but a lot of our clients are in the YouTube space, and we need to talk to them in the same way they talk to their peers and in the way that they communicate most. So video is it's kind of a lot more fun than writing long blog posts. Getting in front of the camera, it's stressful, it's hard, but I like that, and the team really seems to be enjoying that as well. So we've got a marketing coordinator, we've got some people on the support team that are really excited to kind of help explore that. So just kind of the whole team is interested in seeing. Blogging's been fun, and we'll definitely continue to blog. That's my passion project, but I'm allowed more than one passion project these days, right? So YouTube and video is kind of the next exciting area for us.
I think you guys should have plenty of opportunities to just move those blog posts over to the YouTube side, and I'm excited to see like where it's going to go, because I've been just pushing the boulder uphill for a few years here. And
you've been the inspiration for us.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's like if that guy can do it, anyone can, right? So
now you got your multi-camera, your microphone, your lighting. Now every time we talk, you've leveled up again in your setup and how professional it is.
Thanks.
I keep trying to drag you down, but you're doing a great job.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I keep showing up over and over again. So I'm curious, and I know from just the blog standpoint, the traffic's always a little up and down, and there's different algorithm updates and always new competitors, at least like the traffic that I see for Niche Site Project, for example. So it's great to go to a different channel, take a little break. I actually miss writing some of the longer blog posts, but at the same time, I just keep going back to doing a video or a podcast or something like that, just a different format. And I don't know why, but I enjoy the writing, but there's something cool just being able to push out these videos pretty fast. And live streaming. Have you guys dabbled in any live streaming? Can you do that yet? Or
not yet? I'm nervous. You make it look so easy, but as you said, all those buttons.
I make it more complicated than it has to be. So it should be straightforward, but you guys will do fine once you get a few under your belt. So people are much more forgiving live. So
I thought that was just because you had an awesome community.
You know what? Partially that. They are awesome. And occasionally it'll be great when you get your first trolls. That's when you know that you made it and people are paying attention. So.
Okay. I like that silver lining piece. Awesome.
All right. Anything else I didn't ask you about that you want to mention?
I think we covered our laundry list. It's been a while since we caught up, so there was a lot of fun little topics to discuss. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks a lot for joining me, and thanks everyone that came on the live stream.
Thanks, everyone.